When we first moved to this beautiful block, we couldn't go anywhere without being covered in insect repellent. The mosquitoes were horrendous. Now, we can walk pretty much anywhere we want for most of the year without having to worry about the chemicals. We've still got just as many insects. The thing is, whereas before most of the insects were mosquitoes, now we have a huge variety and the mosquitoes are in the minority. So, how did we do it? Well, stick around and I'll explain to you 5 ways to control mosquitoes in your backyard naturally. This video is actually a response to a viewer's request. Shout out to Rachelsity. I hope this meets your expectations. And don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, all you have to do is interact with this video in some way. You could like, you could comment, you could share, you could subscribe, and it's all greatly appreciated. 5 natural ways to control mosquitoes in your backyard? Let's get into it. Let's start with the mosquito life cycle. Mosquitoes go through 4 stages. The first is eggs. Eggs need to be laid in still water, but not just still water. Larvae need the organisms that break down organic matter. So the mother mosquito is attracted to water that contains things like leaves or even to decaying leaf litter that holds small pools of water. In only 1 to 2 days in warm weather, the eggs become larvae. In dry or cool conditions, these eggs can wait months to hatch. Once the larvae are wriggling in the water, they feed on microorganisms and go through 4 molts over 4 to 14 days. They do need oxygen and can be observed coming up to the surface, and that's important. I'll explain why later. The next step in the cycle is the pupa, which floats on the surface without feeding for 2 to 4 days. I got these pictures of some pupa just a little while ago. Finally, the adult emerges from the pupal cocoon and flies away. The whole process can take as little as 4 days or as long as a month. As adults, males live short lives feeding on nectar, while females can live months feeding on blood, but it's usually around a month. In Australia, the length of time from egg to adult is usually between 7 and 10 days, and it's believed that each female will lay around 200 eggs. That's a lot of mosquitoes in a very short period. So how do we control this so that we're not overrun with them? Previous occupants of our house apparently sprayed the garden and remnant rainforest. I believe that this is why we had lots of mosquitoes and hardly any insects. The thing is, you need those insects to control the mosquitoes and bring in other mosquito predators. The first way to control mosquitoes is not a short-term fix, but it reaps rewards in the long term. The first way is promote biodiversity and get the predators working for you. Make mosquitoes prey. Mosquitoes have a lot of predators. One of the most significant is dragonflies, believe it or not, and damselflies, of course. Dragonflies and damselflies consume mosquitoes at every stage of their life cycle. A larval dragonfly eats approximately 40 mosquito larvae per day, while adults can consume literally hundreds of adult mosquitoes per day. So how do you attract them? Don't use any pesticides. Dragonflies and damselflies are highly sensitive to pesticides. Indeed, they are used as an indicator species for good water quality, and water is an essential component of their life cycle. Our creek is full of them, and when they started hunting over our frog pond, I knew that the pond was healthy too. Of course, they will also eat tadpoles and small fish, but that's the price of biodiversity, and that's why it pays to have hiding spots in your pond. Speaking of ponds, provide a breeding area. You'll need a pond which is around 60 centimetres deep with native plants in it. Once you build it, they should come. That's it. Super simple. Lack of pesticides and access to water will also support other mosquito predators like birds, bats, they are amazing at mosquito control, frogs, lizards, and spiders, to name a few. Another significant predator is in the same family, and I only just recently found out about these guys. So elephant mosquitoes look like giant bloodsuckers, but the adults exclusively feed on nectar, both male and female. Their larvae, however, are voracious predators of mosquito larvae, and they'll breed wherever mosquitoes do. So that's the first way. The second way is get some aquatic allies. That is, put fish in your ponds. You are unlikely to get dragonflies quickly if you put in a pond. While you're waiting, add fish. Do some research and find a local species that eat mosquito larvae. If you want to allow frogs to breed, make sure they don't eat frog eggs or tadpoles. We've recently released a video about the importance of fish in ponds if you would like more information. So I will link it just up there. Since adding fish to my ponds, I have not seen any larvae in the pond, and the mosquito population has noticeably decreased. The third way, trap the wrigglers. You can do this by creating traps around your backyard. Simply fill a container with water, add a couple of leaves, and wait for the wrigglers to appear. Once you have wrigglers in your containers, you can dispose of them. I dispose of mine by feeding them to my pond fish, as I love the idea of giving them fresh live food. Based on my observations, they prefer the pupal stage over the larval stage, so if I find standing water with pupa in it, I scoop them up and watch the fish feast. If you don't have fish to feed them to, simply water your lawn with the water. Once the water is dried up, the larvae can no longer develop and will perish. A word of caution, however, don't pour them anywhere where water can pool. Even a tiny pool in a leaf can sustain larvae and pupa. What if you can't tip the water out? What if you have something like bromeliads, like our viewer who requested this? Well, this is a hard ask without using toxic chemicals, but it can be done. Of course, if you can attract the predators, they will eventually find these little hotspots of breeding and help you out there. But while you're waiting for the predators to arrive, you can oil it up. As mentioned previously, mosquito larvae need to go to the surface to breathe. If you have water that you can't tip out or you can't populate with fish, then you can stop the larvae accessing the surface to breathe. It's as simple as a few drops of oil to make a barrier between the water surface and the air. This technique has actually been used in the past by people who have rainwater tanks. They used castor oil or olive oil as they are non-toxic. You could use any vegetable oil really, and if you want an extra boost, you could use eucalyptus oil or tea tree oil, as mosquitoes are repelled by both of these scents. If you choose this method, you will need to refresh the oil regularly. It will degrade over time. And if adding to a drinking supply, make sure it doesn't spoil, because then it will contaminate the water. The final method of control is to make it move. Mosquitoes don't like wind, and they don't like running water. So, if you have a pond or a water feature, add a fountain. If you have an area that you like to sit outside, add a powerful fan. These two methods add little disruption to the environment but pay off by keeping mosquitoes out of certain areas. In many cases, it's also cheaper than the constant financial costs of repellents and pesticides. And you're not breathing in mosquito coil fumes. Win-win. So why am I talking about controlling the population rather than destroying it? Well, like it or not, mosquitoes are part of the web of life in our backyards. They are food for other species. Also, you can't destroy the population in your suburb. Previous occupants of our house had to spray continuously, only experiencing mere weeks of relief before they had to spray again. Meanwhile, the sprays impacted on other parts of the web and reduced the number of predators, so that when the mosquitoes repopulated, they were uncontrolled and worse than ever. So, to summarize, make mosquitoes prey by attracting predators. Populate your pond with predators. Harness those aquatic allies. Trap the wrigglers and just oil it up and make the breeding areas inhospitable. Or simply make it move and disrupt nothing but airflow and water flow. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that by interacting in any way that suits you. Simply hit that like button, make a comment, share this video, subscribe. It's all appreciated. And I'll see you next time we get into it.